Today I will tell you about the TV series Mob Psycho 100 by Netflix. Shigeo Kageyama, also known by the nickname Mob, is the most powerful psychic in the world. However, he hides his power from others, and unlike his younger brother Ritsu, he is completely unpopular with girls. Whenever he tries to talk to his childhood friend Tsubomi, who he has a crush on, he always ends up in trouble. Every day, Mob buys takoyaki from an old man in a food truck for his boss. He has a part-time job at the office of Arataka Reigen, a charlatan who is supposedly an exorcist, but actually has no supernatural powers, except for the fact that his acting skills are pretty good. Reigen has an individual approach to each client. One day he massages an allegedly possessed man with a spirit on his shoulders to loosen him up. Another day he brushes clients' hair and perfumes him to banish the entities that keep the nerd from meeting the girls. And when these spirits are real and he cannot banish them himself with salt, Reigen calls Mob, who naively believes him to be his mentor and a powerful psychic. The guy easily deals with all the ghosts and evil spirits that disturb Reigen's clients. One day, Mob decides it's time to change his life and joins a body improvement club to build muscles. A weird girl named Toma picks up his psychic waves and tries to drag him to a telepathy club. However, Mob is adamant about his desire to join the bodybuilding club. After training, he shows Toma his abilities and tells her that this is nothing compared to well-developed body and that he wants to build muscles to meet girls. But Toma replies that he will never be popular anyway. The next morning, Ritsu tells Mob that he is wasting his time with this bodybuilding nonsense and that he should concentrate on his superpowers. He is obviously jealous of his older brother. During training, Mob faints again, and Toma learns about a cult that recently appeared in the city and is rapidly recruiting new members. The school board has shut down the telepathy club, but the bodybuilders have been kind enough to let Toma stay on. After school, Mob sees a fight between the punk kids from Salt and Black Vinegar schools. His classmates say that there has been a dramatic increase in the number of fights recently. A strange guy with a smiley face mask comes to Mob. He guesses that the kid has problems with girls. He invites him to a place where all his problems can be solved. Ritsu follows his brother. They arrive at a cult meeting where they meet Toma. The cult leader Dimple appears and immediately makes everyone laugh. The cult members grab Ritsu and Toma. When Dimple puts the mask over their faces, they also begin to laugh. However, his charms have no effect on Mob. Dimple gets mad and lashes out at Ritsu, knocking him down with a burst of energy. Mob realizes that the cult leader is not a man but an evil spirit. He uses his powers without hesitation. The ghost shows its true form, and that it has no dick and no balls. The battle begins. Shigeo easily defeats the Green Giant. He tells his teacher about what happened, and Reigen tells him that those people weren't really happy because they were brainwashed. In the morning, Mob wakes up to find a green nasty-looking energy bulb floating above his bed. It's Dimple, who has lost most of his power. The ghost offers Shigeo to cooperate with him. Mob doesn't like the idea and plans to exorcise the green misunderstanding. However, Dimple manages to pity the guy. Shigeo is getting ready to go to school, and the ghost is happily dreaming of taking over the Mob's body when he is least expecting it. While Mob is stuck at school, the next level of crazy stuff is going on in town. Some rich guy is experimenting on Esper children, and a secret organization called the Claw tortures one of Dimple's former followers and discovers that the spirit was exorcised by a schoolboy. A psychic kid named Hanazawa beats up Shigeo's school gang and says he will rule the world. The humiliated gang leader Anigiwara decides to turn the bodybuilding club where Mob trains against Hanazawa, and the president of the school board suggests Ritsu to frame the school bullies to get rid of them. Anigiwara and his henchmen go to the body improvement club to ask for their help in the confrontation, but they turn down. Then he drops off a love letter to Mob with a proposal to meet and a challenge letter to the hooligans of the Black Vinegar School, at the same location, of course. When Mob arrives for the meeting, he is taken hostage by the bullies. The bodybuilding club comes to the rescue. The jocks easily scatter the goons. Hanazawa shows up. He knocks out the bodybuilders with his powers and starts beating up Mob, who tells him not to use his powers on people. Dimple tries to intervene but immediately gets his ass kicked. Then Mob reflects glass into Hanazawa, cutting off his luxurious hair. He pulls out his katana and has another go at Shigeo. Mob loses consciousness and finally uses his full power. He rips off Hanazawa's clothes and sends him flying. Ritsu rushes to the scene and takes Mob with him. Meanwhile, rumors are spreading in the city about the violent tyrant in the white shirt, who is called the White Death. A rich guy who conducts experiments on espers thinks it's Ritsu and offers him to join the Awakening Lab, while the Claws do their own investigation. The man introduces Ritsu to other psychics, but their powers aren't that great. The next day, the president of the school board and Ritsu put head joints of girls' flutes in Anigawara's desk to show the class what a pervert he really is. Desperate, Anigawara runs away from the class where he is being bullied. Anigawara is found by the head of the Body Improvement Club. After telling his heartbreaking story, the former bully is accepted as a member. Ritsu is angry at himself for framing Anigawara, and the guilt triggers his psychic powers. He bends spoons and starts to see Dimple. The Green takes advantage of the fact that Ritsu is jealous of Mob and suggests him to possess the guy to increase his abilities. Ritsu and the president set up the other bullies. In return, they kick the president's ass, and he blames everything on his assistant. The hooligans surround Mob's brother, but he defeats them easily with Dimple's help. Hanazawa witnesses this and tells Ritsu not to use his abilities on students. But Ritsu doesn't listen and enjoys the fact that he is now the White Death. He is challenged to a fight by punks from all schools in the area. And on top of that, he is finally discovered by agents of the Claw, who have been looking for someone hiding under the nickname White Death for a long time. Hanazawa takes Shigeo to the fight location, and Mob finds out that his brother uses his abilities against humans. Ritsu says that he has always been afraid of his brother because he can lose his temper at any moment, and it would be impossible to defend against his powers. Mob apologizes to the bullies who were beaten by Ritsu. Meanwhile, members of the Claw raid the Awakening Lab and kidnap the Esper kids, and the dude in the leather jacket comes after Ritsu. He crushes the bullies with one punch. Then he beats the crap out of Mob's little brother. Shigeo gets furious and comes to his rescue. And now he gets the shit kicked out of him as well. Dimple thinks that Mob is about to be killed and decides to bring Hanazawa to help. Mob's scale goes through the roof, and he and the Claw member knock each other out. Ritsu is kidnapped by a body of a dude in a leather jacket dressed as a garbage man. He throws him into a van with the other psychics. Mob wakes up in Hanazawa's apartment. He tells him that Ritsu was kidnapped by members of the Claw, an organization that hunts down espers. After their ordeal, they are either destined to die or to become scars, the eyelid officers of the Claw. Mob declares that he will save his brother. Hanazawa tells him to forget about Ritsu because he can't be helped anymore, but Mob doesn't even listen to the blonde boy. Then Hanazawa decides to go to the Claws to fight together with Shigeo. A dork in a gas mask tells one of the scars that the boss is coming to check the work of their department. At that moment, Reigen comes out of the bar. Dimple points out that Ritsu often visits the Awakening Lab and suggests that they start their search there. When they arrive there, they discover that all the children have been kidnapped by scars and taken to an unknown destination. The garbage man discovers that his body wasn't knocked out by Ritsu but by Mob, after which he immediately turns the car around. Ritsu comes to his senses and suggests a plan of escape. The girl burns the ropes. Then the children attract the attention of their captors and escape. Ritsu and his companions hide in the school and attract the attention of Tsubomi, who returns from karaoke. Mob reads Tsubomi's mind from a distance and realizes Ritsu's location. Reigen calls his mentee, but the call goes unanswered. Then he identifies Mob's location by tracking his phone via GPS. Tsubomi takes the kids to the infirmary, but scars track them down. They gather in front of the school and prepare to attack. And the dog in the gas mask announces that the boss is about to arrive at the headquarters. Toma crawls into the infirmary, groaning with pain from her bodybuilding training. One of the scars follows her in. While he tries to break through the barrier made by Esper brothers, the rest of the gang tries to escape. Reigen goes in search of Mob and begins to wrench his leg. Shigeo and Hanazawa arrive at the school. Mob confronts the dude in the leather jacket again, but this time instantly neutralizes him. Scar brainwashes the Barrier brothers and they capture Ritsu and the others. Only Tsubomi manages to escape and stumbles upon Mob. A Scar woman appears behind the girl. Mob makes Tsubomi sleep and whines that it's not right to hit a woman. Nevertheless, he gives his opponent a good beating, regardless of her sex. The ska member says that their boss, a powerful psychic, will be here soon. No one has ever seen his face. They only know that he limps on one leg. Mob comes to Ritsu's aid. Ritsu says that he has always been jealous of Shigeo, and Shigeo says that he has always been jealous of Ritsu. The crying session is interrupted by an approaching Reigen, whom Scars identifies as the Claw boss. Everyone freezes in shock. Reigen scolds Scars and takes the kids with him. A dork in a gas mask shows up and asks Reigen who he is. Turns out that Reigen never wanted to pretend to be the boss and was dragging his leg from stepping on a chewing gum. The leader of the Scars says he will have them punished for disrespecting the Claw. He catches up with the fugitives wherever they go. Reigen tells Mob not to use his power on humans, but he is slashed by one of the Scars. Then Mob charges Reigen with his power. Shigeo's mentor says that all the Claws are just immature children and begins to give the Scars a smackdown. Reigen removes the gas mask from the leather leader of the Scars, who turns out to be, guess who? The takoyaki salesman Mob has been shopping for all this time. The old man attacks the guys with a very bad CGI animation. However, he is overpowered by Dimple, who absorbs the old man's power. The old man declares that the Claw's 7th unit is dismissed, and Reigen is left with some of Mob's power and begins to see Dimple. Mob approaches the sleeping Tsubomi, and the Green tells him to wake her up with a kiss. However, Shigeo fails to do so, as he gets kicked by Tome. After what happened, Mob continues to go to the bodybuilders club and remains unpopular with girls. On this happy moment, the movie ends. What do you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love this video, please press like and subscribe. See you soon!